Okay, so yesterday we started doing some distribution practices, so we're going to try these ones. Okay, so this right here is one group, so I'm going to have to distribute the x in front to just its bracket. Okay, do you see how the rest will be separate yet? Does that make sense to you? Do you see how it's separated? Okay, so let's do just that part. So is everybody aware when you multiply x by x, it creates x squared, not 2x? That's something that's different. It's confusing sometimes. Sometimes I get a 2x out of that, but it's x squared plus 7x. That's good with the first one? Okay. Now, there's an 8 in front of its bracket. So the 8 has to go through its bracket. So there has to be a sign. So you're going to write plus 8x. Okay, forgetting the sign, that's kind of a big deal. So plus 8x and then plus 16. Okay, I'm not quite done. When you're doing these kinds of things, you're going to want to simplify as much as possible, which means I can collect those together because I'm going to call them like terms. So all together now, that can come together to be 15x. Okay, let's try the next one. It's very similar, except for this time I did something with a minus sign in the middle. Okay, so first bracket, I want you to get that on your own because it's very similar to the one we just did. And then look at the board when you're done that part. Okay. This even tricked my grade 11s who just had something like this on their exam. Minus 6, negative 6 has to go through that bracket. Okay? So think about the signs. So the first one, minus 6x. Okay, and this, okay, just let people think for a little bit. Make sure you're thinking about this next one, because it's a minus 6 going through to a negative 5. And did you put up a plus? How did we do? Everybody think about a plus sign there? Okay, so that I highlighted because that's an important thing where it just tricks people. People forget to look at that. And finish your last part by putting those ones together. Try it on your own and then check the board when you're done. Okay, so you could see me doing a system where I was doing one term times two terms. Now let's try doing binomial times a binomial. So this is what it looks like. There's two terms in a bracket, two terms in a bracket. Okay, when you do a binomial times a binomial, we create a system called FOIL. Did you learn that system ever in grade 9? FOIL, the word FOIL. Have you ever heard it before?
Yes, like
yes? Tin foil, aluminum foil, not quite, but. So otherwise in math, this is a new term for you. Okay, foiling this word, you're going to live and breathe it until you graduate. Okay, it's always something that you're thinking about in math. Okay, so that stands for this. First. Then it stands for outside. Then it stands for, what do you think? Inside. And then last. Okay, now this is me drawing it out. And inside each of these boxes, we're going to put the letters in the right spots. The F, the O, the I, and the L. Okay, let's start. I'm going to call this a rainbow, if that's okay. This times this. Which letter do you think that is?
That's O.
That's the O letter, because it's the outsides. The outside, the two things on the outside are getting multiplied. What do you think about this rainbow right here? The I, the insides. Okay, where do I want to go here? I'm going to go to this box. So that times that is the first of this unit times the first of that unit. And then this would be the... What is your W standing for?
I don't know. I
Wanted?
I meant
Okay, so do you see how they kind of all connect? I always draw little rainbows, arcs, to show you what I'm connecting. Okay, here we go. So what is the first unit of this times the first unit of that? X squared. What is the outsides? So I'm going to draw that as a rainbow like that. What do the outsides make multiplied together? 8x, so I'm going to go plus. You always need a sign. Make sure you're saying a plus or a minus, whatever it would be. Okay, let's go to the inside. So there's the inside now. Those two connected. So that'd be 7x. And then the last. So the last in this bracket times the last in that bracket. 56. And just like we had in a previous example, you can still go a little further and just put those units together. Okay, so foiling, foiling, foiling. You're going to do it at least 1,000 times before you graduate. Okay, let's challenge you. I want to see if you can do this one on your own and then look at the board after. So keep with the system. Combo the first together, the outside, the inside, and the last. It's also a connection that if there's two terms and two terms, the production was 4 terms out of that. Obviously, when we simplified it, it changed, but... Okay, how did we do when you're done checking? Did it work out? Later this unit, we're going to learn how to go from this back to that. We're going to go backwards yet.
that's not possible.
We will. The backwards way. Yeah. It'll be like a whole lesson. Yeah. Just letting you look forward to it. Okay. How many did I put on here? Let's try one more. I don't know. Maybe we can skip that one. Let's try one more. Try this one. Same process. Give me your 4 components. multiply the first of each bracket. Be careful on your signs, your pluses and your minuses on this one. Okay, once you're done your foiling, are you noticing that you can put a couple of them together? Okay, I'm going to skip the next one if you're okay. Have we had enough of that type? If anybody did it, it was x squared minus 6x minus 63, or minus 27. Okay, let's go to this one. A little bit harder, just because I have bigger numbers. Okay, same thing though. F, O, I, and L. Just, it'll take a little longer because those numbers are a little bit trickier. What is just your first there? What does that make together? A 3x times a 2x. 6x squared. Okay, my outside, so I have my fingers on the outside objects. What do you think there? Minus 21x. The next would be these two insides. 10x. So that's a plus 10x. And then the last, minus 35. Looks like we can again put some terms together. Okay, so foiling. Last example of the foiling. So this one says I should do this binomial squared. What does squaring something in math mean to you?
Multiplying it twice.
Multiply it by itself twice. Does this make sense to you then if I write it out long way? Multiply it by itself repeated twice. Does that make sense as a square? Okay, and now because it's a binomial, you are going to FOIL it. Okay, and then I'll let you see what you can get on your own. FOIL that out now. Okay, looking at your answer when you're done, making sure you did it correctly. On this one, here's what, actually my grade 11s just made this mistake, some of them. Here's what I got as an incorrect answer. Why do you think somebody made this error? Okay, so I just did this incorrect. Do you know what this person did that was incorrect?
They cancelled out both the minus 35x. They thought it was a plus of 100.
Yeah, what they would have thought in their head, this is what they were thinking. I'm just going to square this term and square this term separately. That's what they did. They just squared that and squared that. They didn't square it as a unit. Does that make sense differently? You're squaring it as a unit. Okay, that's a very common misunderstanding. Okay, you ready to amp it up a couple notches? What if we do 3 things times each other? Okay, let's write a rule. So if I'm going to multiply 3 things, okay, here's my 3 things. I'm going to multiply 2 of them and get a result. So that's my rule. I'm going to multiply 2 of them and get a result. Then I'm going to take that result and then times that by the 3rd thing. Okay, does that make sense if I'm saying it like that? You're going to pick 2. It doesn't matter. You just pick 2 of them, do that, finish that, then go to the 3rd thing. Okay, so I gave you a very simple example of 4 times 2 times 3. Okay, let's just pick 2 of them. It doesn't matter which 2 you pick because multiply, 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 bed mass doesn't matter anymore. Which 2 do you want to do? 4 and 2. Okay, so 4 times 2 is 8. Then, that's the result of that. Now I'll times it by the 3rd thing, making 24. Let's do this in a different way to see if it makes the same answer. Okay, so here's the same question. Can you pick 2 of them to do together? That's different. 4 and 3. So 4 times 3 is 12. Then I would times it by the 3rd item, and look at that. 24. Okay, so with that in mind, so here you have, right, do you see your items? There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3 units getting multiplied. Okay, which ones do we want to pick? It doesn't matter. I'm going to make you do it 2 ways anyway. What do you want to do? 2 and 3, is that what you said? Okay, we're going to do 2 times 3. Okay, what do? It's a binomial, so what should you do with it? Foil that out. Okay, let's see your foiling skills. Get me a final on that 2, the 2nd times the 3rd item. Okay, how did that go? Make sure you get all your 4 parts and then 2 of them get together at the end that are like terms. Anybody matching mine that we're matching? Anybody? What? I feel like some people are looking at it funny. Am I good? People are matching? Yep. Okay. I'm not done yet though, right? Are you ahead? Is that why you're like, what's good? Okay. This is me just putting the 2nd and 3rd item together. Now, right, that's the end of that. So now I have to times it by the other item, which is 4x. Do you understand brackets are necessary around that though? Because I'm going to times 4x by that whole thing. Okay? Then what do you do if there's a monomial times a bracket? This would be just a distribution of it like that. Okay? So what's the end result here? Okay, we are going to do the same question and we're going to pick a different way and let's see if our answer is going to match. Okay, this time I'm going to pick us putting 1 and 2 together first. Okay, so if I put 1 and 2 together, can you do a distribution of 4x into that bracket? Okay, so 1 and 2 I put together. Now, done, I have to put it together with the third one. Okay, this, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to FOIL that because there's a binomial. Okay, so first times first is 4x cubed. Things are looking good for us already. Outsides. What do you get with my fingers here? What does that make on the outside? 20x squared. Okay. Now my fingers are on the insides. 28x squared. And then the last, anybody do 5 times 28? Does it happen to be 140?
Yep.
Plus 140x. And look at that. It matches. Okay, so with multiplication, the order doesn't matter, but you have to understand the process of pick 2 of them, get it, then go to the third. Okay, this one's on your own. You can either go put the 2 and 3 together first and then by the 5, or you could put the 1 and 2 together first and then by that. You pick. Okay, see if you can get it. Put 2 of them together. I will do it both ways. Okay, this one is a binomial times a trinomial. Does anybody have an idea of how many terms will come out of it? 6. You have 2 units and 3 units, it ends up being 6. What do you think on the last question we're going to do?
It's 6. 7.
It's 9.
9. There will be 9.
Oh, it's because
There's 3 terms and 3 terms. Yeah. Okay, you ready? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to distribute the x into that whole bracket. Like that. You have to have a combination with everything from the first bracket and the second bracket. So let's do the x with each thing. Okay? See what you can get. Okay, how did that go? The x with each different one. Okay, now we're going to have to put the 7 with each one from the other bracket. Okay, so the x to each one and then the 7 to each one. And so far I have my 6 individuals that I anticipated. Okay, we're okay with seeing all the combos. Now let's put stuff together. So 2x cubed, just leave it, there's nothing to do with it. But I see x squareds and x squareds. So how many x squareds do I have altogether? 19 x squareds. And then I can put 7x and 35x together. So 42x. Thumbs up, we did it. Are we gonna go crazy here and do trinomial? Trinomial?
no.
I think we can do it. Okay, slow and steady because you're gonna have 9 things. Okay, so 3 terms times 3 terms. We're going to have 9 combos. You ready? Okay, put the 5x into each one from that. 5x into each one. Do you understand when there's an x times a y that it makes xy? And then there's nothing that you can do with that, it just is xy. Okay, stop when you do the 3 and let's check your work at 3. Accuracy, did you get it? Or did I get it? Sometimes it's easy to make mistakes. Okay, are we good with the 5x numbers?
Hold on 1 second.
Okay, yeah.
Just pause, stop, check the 3. Yes? Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put a check mark here. We did the 5x. Okay, you ready to do the 2?
Yes.
Okay, so put the 2 into each of the other bracket numbers. Pause, check those 3 out. How did the second set go? Okay, I feel like the last set's going to be the hardest because I see X, Y here. Okay, I'm putting a check mark. We finished that one. Okay, now we have to put negative XY through. I'm running out of room to put little swivels here. Okay, so those are my 3 combos. Okay, let's talk about just this group. How do you want to do this? So, do you understand negative 3, first of all? Is in the front of that? Okay, so let's write that. Negative 3. How are we going to put these letters all together? X cubed y. X cubed y. Done. Okay. I got my fingers set to where we want to go here. Sign. Add, subtract. Add. Add and put the 4 in the front. X, Y. Okay, everybody sees the add because this is a negative and a negative. So add 4xy. And the last set, this would be what symbol? Add or subtract? Subtract 7. What do you think with the letters here? X, Y squared. Okay, long list here. Is there anything that looks the same? Those 2 things look the same. Those look the same. Is there anything else? I don't think so. Where am I looking? This one? And this one? Because this one has a Y attached on it. Or where else am I looking? This one? What do you want to put that one with? With this one? No, because this is, it'd be like doing volume with area. You know what I mean? You can't put volume and area together. Okay, so basically rewrite it all with 39xy. Woo, that was a doozy there.